Hello all, it's Jaames Johnson, aka Sulfur Blade. Welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my content, and welcome back to Heads Will Roll Reforged. Back here in basically Season 3, our third playthrough on channel. We are evidently in the city of Venice, within the Venetian Republic, and we are moving on to the next chapter, if you will, where we're going to have to do something about possible war with Austria, Hungary, and Padua? So with that being said, let's just jump into things, shall we? Looks like I'm fully fresh. Is my inventory filled with stuff? To an extent. I have had a little bit of a break between the last episode and this one, where the previous sets of episodes was just one big long, one after another, rapid fire, and then I I schedule them to release every day. But this one, I guess I gotta kind of remember what I'm doing here a little bit. I'm pretty sure we were trying to make some medical items. Yeah, quite a few antidotes, if I remember correctly. I want to say 6 of each. And in order to do that, we need alcohol. So we're going to buy that, buy that, buy that. How much? Let's go back to crafting. Leather plus leather equals canteen. Okay, we got 2 canteens. So it was canteen, I want to say medicine, and a wine bottle. Alright, we got 2 that time. That's good. Then a canteen, medicine, wine bottle. Alright, so we have all of the antidote 2s we need. Now the 3s are going to require water skins plus medicine and wine. Okay, we only got 1. Two, 3, 4. Okay, 2 water skins, nice. Medicine. Do we have any more wine? No. Okay, so medicine, water skin, and an ale. Only 1. Water skin, medicine, and an ale. 2. Okay, we might have enough. 1, 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do believe we do have enough. Now that's if this is still a quest. So they asked us for these medicines in the last chapter, and we're on to a new chapter. Most quests I've noticed do carry over from chapter to chapter, but then I've never done this one before, so I don't know how. Care and this tech provide assistance to the hospital in Carnariga and the infirmary in Murano on behalf of the Doge. Okay, Murano. Can we even go to Murano anymore? Right. Empire? No. Padua. Maybe it's in Venice. It is. Okay, good. Why is it counting both? Did I make I think I made a bunch of extra antidotes. Well, that's fine. We'll keep the 3s for ourselves then. All right, character inventory. Maybe we don't have to carry around this many medicines and this many antidotes. $14 should be plenty of space. All right. Where do we start our trip? There's Florence and Milan, which he wasn't even talking about. Empire, I suppose, is the Holy Roman Empire, which would be actually, what would it be? So, depending on the time period, what time period are we in? I don't really even... Well, actually, it's the same time period as what the 100 Years' War. Oh, Jesus. The Holy Roman Empire would have been... God, I think it might have been Bohemia at the time. Is that right? I'm not even sure, but... Yeah, I want to say... either Saxony or Bohemia might have been the emperor at the time. One of those. Usually it would have been Austria, but I don't think Austria was at that specific juncture. I think Austria would have been just afterwards. And it wasn't for France, would have been prior to. So France was kind of the early days of the Holy Roman Empire during like Charlemagne and stuff. Kind of like created it as more of the Germanic kingdoms or duchies, if you will, started kind of weaseling their way into the empireship until Austria kind of really took it over towards the end. But this is neither here nor there. We are trying to figure out allies against Austria, Hungary, and Padua, or just straight up trying to talk them out of going to war with us. And honestly, I would think at that time period, would Austria or Hungary be the biggest threat? I mean, Austria would technically be the larger and nearer threat, though Hungary is still relatively close. But let's go to Austria. You arrive at the Duchy of Austria's lands. Request an audience with Duke Leopold. Upon arriving at the court of Leopold III, you used your status as the... You know, I wonder if the developers did their homework and these are the correct people for the time period. I'm intrigued to actually look up and check this out. Okay, upon arriving at the court of Leopold III, you use your status as the official representative of the Venetian Doge and request an audience with the Austrian Duke. But just as you start introducing yourself, your interlocutor rudely interrupts you. Enough of this nonsense. Venice led everyone on for a long time, wiggled her ass like a sly whore trying to sit on all possible chairs at the same time. But the Lord is not blind, and the hour of reckoning for your pride and avarice has come. No matter how slippery and dodgy the small fry may be, it can't escape the hot pan. Leopold leads forward and lowers his voice. And you are already on that pan, you just haven't realized it yet. Quite pleased with his simple allegory, the Duke chuckles. Although perhaps you did realize it, since you've come running here to shake your tail. Well, go on, spill it. What have you got? Sire, I'm here to discuss the terms of a peaceful settlement of the conflict between the Republic of Venice and the Duchy of Austria. There's only one way to accomplish that. Trieste, Istria, Friuli, and Treviso. This actually makes a lot of sense. These are what would Europeans call these? I guess counties that historically were on the border of Austria and Venetian territory. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Austria controlled Istria and Friuli for many years. I think they took them from... Well, obviously, I think Austria probably took these lands from Venice. So this is well done, this part here. I, Leopold III, Duke of Austria, consider these lands mine. And I will get them, whether it would be the easy way or the hard way. So if the floating city truly desires peace with me, you may start by voluntarily handing over what is rightfully mine to me. and only then will I be willing to sit down at the negotiating table with you. Yeah, sure, you can have all the land you want. Who am I to start giving away lands of the Republic of Venice? He gave me permission to negotiate, sure, but give away the kingdom? I think maybe I need to return to Venice and at least discuss this with my liege before I decide to make promises that obviously are a little above my pay grade, I think. Okay, Mr. Doge. Time is precious, Jaames. We much stacked. Regarding the Venetian treasury. Okay, so the game isn't smart enough to say, hey, Austria is demanding all these lands. What do you think about it? Well, what's this Venetian treasury thing? Replenish the Venetian? Take money from the Venetian treasury? Maybe replenish it? $31,717? It's a fair amount. They don't need my ducats. Alright. While we're on this new chapter, what does the lady of the castle have to say about things? Oh, it's you again. Come in. Just don't step on the carpet. It's just been delivered. Have a chat? You wear clothes that are too practical and boring. A small change in your wardrobe wouldn't hurt. I've got a lot on my plate, but I'm willing to set aside a couple of days to find you something more original. I'm a soldier, my lady. In my line of work, practicality and convenience always take precedence over beauty. Giovanni pouts in frustration. Well, at least put a feather in your helmet. Only if it will scare away the local seagulls. That's kind of funny. Okay, withdraw the duchy of... Oh, sure. Alright, let's... What does Hungary want? You arrive in the Kingdom of Hungary's lands. Upon arriving in the Kingdom of Hungary, you use your status as the official representative of the Venetian Doge and request an audience with King Louis. Louis, huh? Can't say I'm very familiar with the Louis of Hungary. Greetings, Your Majesty. I've come to your court to deliver an official proposal from the Venetian Doge Andrea Caterini to the Hungarian King Louis I to cease hostilities and make peace. Please tell me, Lajos. This is the name I was crowned on. Please call me Lajos. Okay. Well, that sounds a little more Hungarian, I suppose. The people of the Kingdom of Hungary also call me by this name, and even though my roots go back to Italian lands, I'm not talking to you as a representative of the Sicilian branch of the House of Anjou. Okay. But as the Lord Protector and Custodian of the Hungarian lands and their inhabitants, and as the man who looks after the interests of this kingdom. Only this one, and none other. Everyone knows that Many of my neighbors, and everyone knows that many of the neighbors of the Republic of Venice have accumulated quite a few claims and grudges against it. Alright. I do not have any. That too makes sense, actually. My participation in this alliance is not motivated by plunder, profit, or revenge, only by the desire to maintain the status quo between our countries. And by countries, you're probably talking about Austria. When I conquered Dalmatia from the Venetians, well, actually Dalmatia was actually a Hungarian land. When I conquered Dalmatia from the Venetians, the predecessor of the Doge, Contarini, publicly swore that he would not accept the loss of these lands and would take them back, even over my dead body if necessary. The king's gaze turns cold and his voice sounds like steel. So if Venice truly desires peace with me, it will have to accept the loss of Dalmatia, as well as reimburse my kingdom for the expenses incurred in this and previous campaigns. Sir, I might be able to talk them into giving up their casus belli on Dalmatia, but you want us to pay for all of your kingdom expenses from the conquering of Dalmatia? I think you go too far. Altogether, 50,000 florins. My kingdom does not need war. However, if Venice refuses to acknowledge its mistakes and behaves as a good neighbor should, then following Dalmatia I shall seize Trieste, Istria, and Forelli. I think Austria would have something to say about that. And by then it probably wouldn't take long to reach the floating city itself. If the residents of Venice are unable to choose a prudent person as their doge, then perhaps I should do it for them. I know that Doge Contarini is wiser than his predecessor. This is his chance to prove his wisdom and not repeat the other's mistakes. You're asking a bit much, sir. Can we be reasonable? Your Majesty, on behalf of the Doge of Venice, I'd like to reaffirm the Republic's commitment to the ideas of peaceful coexistence with the Kingdom of Hungary. Venice sincerely desires peace and is prepared to take significant steps to meet your terms. However, the amount of compensation that you have set seems excessive to us and is unaffordable for the Venetian treasury. By reducing it, you could accelerate the achievement of peace between our states and, well, as well as show yourself as a wise and far-sighted ruler. Victories in battle, number of troops checked, failed. Fine words, my friend, but there's nothing backing them up. Your republic is surrounded by a ring of enemies. For every soldier Venice can field, I have 2, 3, even 4 of my own. You are not in a position to demand or ask for anything. Don't confuse my kindness with weakness. The Doge does not wish to sign the peace treaty here in the lands of the Hungarian kingdom, then I and my loyal vassals will gladly visit his palace in the floating city, and we will sign everything there. However, it will be under slightly different terms. Okay, I might be going about this the wrong way. Maybe I should be traveling to the other locations like France and Milan and Florence and the Empire. Let's go to France. Wow, I can visit all kinds of places. Brittany has its own issues right now. I don't think Brittany could be great, any great ally. Visit the south of France. Visit Navarre. Let's try the south of France. What's going on here? Time lost 1. Hire the company of brothers Leonard and Leon from Lyon. 500 men for 10,000 florins. Right. So here we are, kind of stumbling our way into things, and we're spending time to do it. So we just spent a whole time period to discover that in South Liane there's 500 men that cost 10,000 florins. This is interesting knowledge. But I don't know if that's a good price for 500 men. If this is a good company. I know nothing about this company. I feel a little blinded in the dark. Is that going to be the same if I visit Navarre? I'm just going to get prompted with another possible mercenary company, and I'm going to use another day of time. Time lost 1. Okay, the residence of King Charles. Prestige check passed. Okay. Now we're actually talking to someone. Okay, so you represent the Venetian Doge here. I won't lie, Italian lands have always attracted my attention, especially now that I have sworn to Jean not to interfere in the affairs of the French crown, and a considerable part of my French holdings has been confiscated. I could say assist Venice with funding in military campaigns in exchange for one of its mainland holdings. What have we got there? Treviso doesn't interest me much, but Trieste or Istria are another matter entirely, so think about my offer. Oh my. The game will really let me sell off regions? So what's interesting here is I could sell Istria, for example. Use the 5,000 florins, or the 50,000 florins from the sale of Istria, and pay off the Hungary to get out of the war. And then Istria would no longer be our problem with Austria, because it would technically not be ours anymore. I mean, the game is giving me the authority and power to do this. I find it crazy. I think I'm gonna sell Istria. Using the authority granted to you by the Doge, you strike a deal with Charles of Navarre for the sale of Istria for 50,000 florins received. Region lost, Treviso. Doge's popularity decreases by 15. Ah, okay. For these lands are now mine, and the gold I paid for them will soon return to me through new taxes. Okay. Now we're going to go back to Hungary. Repeat it. Well, I want to accept your terms. I've got the money. Huh. Hey, Doge. I sold part of, Okay, conclude peace with Hungary. What do you mean, not enough money? Is it in my... It is in my inventory. Oh, I could have been a rich man! Been like, hey, Doge, I'm out of here. I just stole one of your counties. Now I'm going back to England. Back. They can hardly be called comfortable, but I think we have to accept them. If military victory is not feasible, then peace on the enemy's terms remains the only option. King Louis receives 50,000 florins from the Venetian treasury, as well as an official letter from Doge Caterini in which he recognizes Hungary's sovereignty over Dalmatia. The fulfillment of demands set forth by King Louis leads to withdraw from the anti-Venetian alliance in accordance with his promise. The Kingdom of Hungary is no longer at war with Venice. Doge's popularity increases by 15. EXP for completing the quest plus 20. Alright. 1 victory. What's next? What could be in Florence? A haven for mercenaries from all over Europe who come to Italian lands in search of money and glory. John Hawkwood's company. 1,000 men for 20,000 florins. Can we go back to the arsenal? Are there still men to recruit? There are. We're up to 48 soldiers. Woohoo! Well, what the hell does Padua want? Take the city by storm? Time 3. So I can attack these guys. That's an interesting option. You get an audience, but it only lasts a few minutes. Without even allowing you to properly introduce yourself and state the purpose of your visit, Francesco Carrera declines that he has no intention of discussing anything with the Venetians or those who serve them. Okay. How many troops do they have? Is there any way I can find that out? Right, so we have... There's 31,717 ducats currently, and I have about 7,000 myself, if need be. It's about 38,000 or so money to play with. What's in the Empire? The Holy Roman Emperor. Okay. Your Majesty, my name is Jaames Johnson, and I've come on behalf of the Venetian Doge, Andrea Caterini, to ask for your help. Nodding wearily, the Emperor gestures for you to stop. Wherever I go and whatever I do, Italian affairs continue to haunt me. Emperor Karl. That's interesting. Okay. First, my own nobility demands that I display my power and rein in the Italian princelets. I cave into them and lose half my army to frostbite and disease before we even get to the goal of the campaign. Then the Pope, appealing to my kind Christian soul, asks me to help him rein in this scoundrel and godless man Visconti. I agree, and the English devil Hawkwood sends my entire army to the bottom of the Po River. And now, when I have strictly sworn off sticking my nose beyond the Alps, I'm once again being asked to intervene in Italian affairs. Okay. This time by Andrea Caterini. The Emperor sighs. Caterini has a reputation as a skilled diplomat, but even his unmatched eloquence will not be enough to persuade me to call up the banners once again for a campaign in the south. Right? Maybe there's something else you can do. It is not in my interest, it's not in the interest of the Empire, and it is certainly not in the interest of my native Bohemia. Okay, I got lucky. Okay, the tens or even hundreds of thousands of florins that such a campaign would cost would be much better spent on building a new cathedral or a university in Prague. You're probably right, Emperor Karl. I won't even mention the blood that would be shed, so my answer is no. That wasn't exactly what I asked you yet, Emperor Karl. Your Majesty, look. Do not argue with me. I do not wish to argue with you, Emperor Karl. I didn't ask you for an army. Maybe just influence? Could you talk with the Austrians on our behalf? In fact, Austria should be a member of the Holy Roman Empire. My lack of bloodlust should not be perceived as weakness. This crown is now on my head, was not inherited, but won in battle. And anyone who dares to question my authority will be swiftly put in his place. As long as the Italian lands pay me tribute regularly, I'm not interested in their petty squabbles between those local princelets. Okay. Is that the whole reason that the Holy Roman Empire is in this? To be told no and have no other options of parlaying with him? Nothing else? Just a trip to waste time? Seems that way. Alright. I wish I knew how large Padua's army was. I almost want to hire John Hawkward and then go attack Padua. So I'm thinking that's what I might do. So back to, have we been to Milan? We've been to France. We've been to the Empire. We've been to Florence. I don't think we've been to Milan yet. Barnabo with Visconti. Okay. Upon arriving in Milan, you use your status as official representative of the Venetian Doge to request an audience with the city's ruler, Barnabo Visconti. However, you are unable to find him at his residence as the master of Milan is away hunting. Several hours later, you finally manage to spot him among the endless hunting grounds surrounding Milan. Barnabo is in no hurry to talk to you. He ignores the urgency of the matter and instead prefers to focus on his hounds chasing wild boars. The hunt ends only at sunset. Cute dog? Well then, been waiting a while, eh? Don't be angry. I'm not. A good hunt is the only outlet I have left. My subjects lie and wallow in vice and sloth. Members of my own family weave intrigues behind my back, and the Roman Emperor himself threatens me with war. I hear this, yes. Barnabo chuckles wickedly and affectionately pats the hound he holds in his arms on the head. Only they never let me down. Only they don't wish me ill. Signor, I've come to you. The ruler of Milan stops you with a gesture of his hand. I know it all about everyone and everything. Genoa is as much an enemy of Milan as it is to your floating city. The defeat of Venice and the rise of Genoa will put me in jeopardy. Okay, so we share common cause. I already have a fair share of dangerous enemies, and I have no need for new ones. Hold on. What part of we share dangerous enemies and have common cause did you not... are you missing here? Does this mean that Venice can count on Milan's support? It can. Okay, good. But only if Milan can count on Venice's support. I don't see why not. And if I can personally count on you, what kind of assistance does Milan require? Barnabo chuckles once again. Contarini knows perfectly well what kind of assistance I need. He knows that old Barnabo is the only man in all of Italy who has enough courage to stand up to the Emperor's will. The only one who has the guts to pursue his own policies without any regard for the Rhenish barbarians who hide their ugly mugs behind the mask of the Roman emperors. As long as I am the head of the House of Visconti, Milan will not submit to anyone, not even the Emperor. I have already proven this to him once, when Hawkwood, on my orders, bathed his vaunted knights at the bottom of the River Po. But it seems that the lesson has not been learned, since according to rumors, he is now once again calling his countless banners. Barnabo places his hands on your shoulders unceremoniously and pulls you closer to him. So close that this dog's wet nose rubs against your chest. Swear it to me. Swear that if the Imperial troops cross the Alps again, Venice will come to my aid. Well, I went to the Emperor first. He told me he had no interest in Italy as long as it continues to pay tribute. But obviously, Mr. Conti here has no intentions of paying tribute. And if Mr. Conti's not going to pay tribute, why should Venice pay tribute? So, screw the Emperor. He was rude. I came seeking assistance. He brushed me off. This is the consequences. I agree. I swear. I give you my word. Good. Good. My men are preparing to invade the Genoese lands at any moment. But before that happens, I must make sure that your word is actually worth something. What should I do? My nephew, Gian Galeazzo, is plotting behind my back. He thinks I'm unaware of it. Thinks that old Barnabo is blind, deaf, and completely out of his mind. Don't tell me you want me to assassinate someone for you. But that's not the case. I see everything, hear everything, and know everything. I'll settle the score with my nephew myself. What I need from you is to deal with his main allies, the Della Torre family. They own a well-fortified castle not far from Milan. They have long since figured out what's what, so my spies cannot get in there for obvious reasons. Okay, so you're wanting me to spy on the castle's fortifications? And I have no interest in engaging in a months-long siege, the outcome of which is unknown and which could easily bankrupt me. So another approach is required, and you will find it. Okay. I think I'm off to spy on a castle. As the formidable stronghold before your eyes could be taken by storm only by a proper army. Send Venetian troops to storm the castle? What troops? I don't have that many. Let's infiltrate the castle. The plan works, and soon enough, you and your people end up inside. Seizing the right moment, you draw your... Wait, we're doing the whole frickin' Trojan horse thing. To what end? I thought we were going to spy on it. We're just going to kill everyone in the castle? Evidently. Oh, look at these guys. They look pretty uppity. And who are you? Are you a squad member? Jack the Sledgehammer, man-at-arms. Maybe? What do we have here? Weapon skill 27. These guys are actually a threat. Plate armor. Plate gorget. Plate helmet. I'm going to have a hard time piercing this armor, I think. And we got a guy with a crossbow skill of 18 and several builds. Well, he's the priority. And what's his skill? 18, I said, right? Yeah. Alright, this is a dangerous fight. What have I gotten myself into? Right. Keep it bay. And not really any chances of penetrating anything. What if I go to defensive stance and feint? Missed. Hey, you leg sweeped him. Weapon skill 14. It's not horrible. Surprised he pulled that off. Alright, so the guy in the front is currently stunned, which gives me a good opportunity here. I think we gotta go for the neck. We can for sure penetrate the armor of his neck. It's just a matter of hitting at 79%. And we did. And he's bleeding? Yes. We got him. Alright. Recover. Oh, I should be in defensive stance. Whoops. Alright, he's down. There's another one. How many guys are we gonna have to fight? Much less weapon skill. That's a good thing. Though he's holding a shield. The only thing we can penetrate is the neck on that guy, and the chances of hitting, not good. Keep it bay. Do we just try to damage the armor? Plink away at the armor to break through it? This guy is the dangerous guy, though. He's got that crossbow. Not to mention, he's well armored. We need to get his stamina down. Okay, we might have a shot at hitting him right now. He's a little winded. Okay, we got a better than 50% chance of hitting him in the neck. And we can penetrate that. We hit. And he's bleeding. Lucky days. Oh, he took his helmet off, didn't he? Thank you. That's wonderful. And who are you? Invincible Peter. I think this must be the leftover squad members from something. Which I guess I should be happy about. They're serving as targets. Right, you don't have anything on your head. We missed, of course. Why wouldn't we? Who'd you hit? Oh, nice job. Way to go, Peter. It's about the most useful a squad member's ever been. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, we got another shield bearer. And less weapon skill. Good. No poison. No crossbow. Nothing all that scary about him. Good deal. I can't go around his shield because I'm holding that buckler. Alright. We can get lucky, maybe bypass the shield in his head, or go for the limbs. We hit. Alright, let's switch over to defensive stance and do a respite. Oh, you're kidding. We didn't actually kill him? You know, maybe I should leave him and start working on him. He's the most tired. He's got that injury. Yeah, that makes some sense in my mind. Okay, we're gonna respite again. So I want him to be attacking. Blocked again. Well, his shield's broken. You know, I don't really do much hunting anymore. Wonder if it wouldn't be better to keep like an axe in my scabbard for breaking shields. That might be an idea, actually. Though I don't have any axe skill. Not that it really matters, I suppose. Think there's more guys after these two? Guess we're about to find out. Nobody showed up. Good. Sure, he pulls off a feint. Of course he does. Got him. Yes, I want to search. The instructions received from Barnado dictate that the entire Delatorre family must be eliminated. When did I get those instructions? That would have been cool if at some point he actually gave me instructions. That would have been... I would have had some idea what I was doing. It would have made more sense to sneak into the castle if if I knew that's what I was doing. I'm only now finding out I'm supposed to be eliminating the family. Send them into exile. Crack down on the Della Torre family. I mean, I don't exactly consider myself a assassin, but at the same time, sending them into exile seems in a way dishonorable. Yes, I'm sparing their lives, which there's a certain amount of honor in that, but at the same time, I'm double crossing a deal made, which I didn't even really know that I made that deal. Developer, you need to do a better job conveying what's going on in some of these things. Like the fact I was just sent into this castle as an assassin, I'm only now finding out. This should have been more adequately explained at the beginning of the process. I mean, yeah, it hinted that he might want me to kill people, but then it turned into me sieging a castle. It went from, okay, I have some family members that are causing issues, to there's this castle that's causing me issues. So I honestly thought I was capturing a castle. Now that I'm in the castle, I'm discovering I'm back to being an assassin. You brutally deal with its inhabitants, following Barnabas Visconti's instructions to the letter. Look at that virtue hit. Well, I wasn't really exactly virtuous before this, but now I'm a right bastard. Having crushed the house of Della Torre, you report to Barnabas Visconti that his task has been accomplished. The ruler of Milan, in turn, thanks you for your help and informs you of his willingness to enter the war on the side of Venice. EXP for completing the quest. Alright, so how many troops does Milan bring with them? Is there any way for me to know? Let's sell the loot. This brigandine is all nice and all, but it uses too much stuff. But it's worth money. Same thing with the kite shield. Same thing here. I'm already wearing a utility belt. Am I not? I think I am. Scouts report that the troops of the Lordship of Padua have advanced towards Friuli. Number of enemy troops, 5,000 soldiers. Number of your troops, 48. Huh. Well, if I surrender it, can I come back and reattack it? I'm certainly not going to be able to defend it with 48 troops. 20,000 florins, 10,000 men. Oh, the lad from Treviso. What was your name, Jaames Johnson? I've forgotten already. I swear to God, I would gladly join any of the sides fighting against Venice to kick your ass once again, but no one wants to pay me properly. What if I agree to do that? Huh. Politicians fight over land borders, old scores, wounded pride. I fight for the love of art. So Venice has suffered enough from Hawkwood and prefers him to be its friend rather than its enemy, then why not? I'm willing to fight under the Venetian banner as well. They say that a month of your work is worth as much as hiring 1,000 heavily armed mounted soldiers. It's a bit pricey for an art lover. The war in general is an expensive luxury. The paupers can't afford it. Furthermore, experience shows that a well-filled purse affects an archer's accuracy no less than a tightly stretched bowstring, and my men's purses are always as heavy as cobblestones. Earn well for yourself and let others earn well too, and there will always be time to die in some future. That's my philosophy. So, kid, is there still plenty of gold hoarded in the Venetian lagoon? What do you mean, no? Venice has 31,000 some credits in its... Does it have to be on my person? Do I have to have the 20,000 on my person? Huh. Okay, travel, Venice, Arsenal, back. Actually, activities, socialize. Is it the Doge? Take money from the treasury. Alright, I just took 20,000 florins. It's in my account now. So let's travel back to Florence. Alright, now how do I attack Padua? And am I rusted? Yeah, it looks like it. Travel. Do we just click on Padua? Head out. Take the city by storm. After the Paduan troops have been driven out of the Venetian territories. Well, how do I do that? How, brown cow. Castello Fortress, Republic of Genoa, Friuli, Lordship of Padua. Yeah, how do I attack these things? I thought Hawkwood had 10,000 troops, not 1,000 troops. Your troops are too few in number, huh? Preparation time in the camp increased by 25 days. After getting approved and waiting a long line of other petitioners, mostly nobles, rich folk, and notable nobles, you get the opportunity to meet King John. Seated at a massive desk covered with all kinds of books, letters, and parchments, the king is immersed in studying one of the scrolls and casts only a brief glance in your direction. What have you got there? Come on out with it. Your Majesty, I've come to the King of France on behalf of the Venetian Doge, Andre Contarini, to seek your assistance in the current... Listen, Raglan, I don't get it. What does it actually say here? Where, sir? Where? In Northampton's muzzle hair. Here, in the report of this slick guy. Go on, read. Having approached the desk and taken the scroll outstretched by the king, Raglan reads aloud. After conducting extensive, protracted, and complex research, we have concluded that, on average, according to statistics obtained during comprehensive observations, every fourth resident of Paris is met approximately twice less often than every second. What? Have you understood a single word of what was written, other than that somebody is meeting with someone else there? And this, Raglan, is what treasury money is spent on? Snatching the scroll from Raglan's hands, the king shakes it in the air. On such charlatans? They're bringing the kingdom to ruin, you understand? And just who appointed him to that position anyway? What was his name again? The king peers into the scroll. Bartholomew of Cambrai. The only person from Cambrai who deserves such trust is Guillaume. Everyone else there are oafs and scoundrels. Who appointed him to that position, I ask? The moron who allows such scribblers to feast at the expense of the treasury should be the first to fired from his post. Despite the king's discontent, the counselor remains unperturbed. You appointed him, sire, in the month before last, by personal decree. What do you mean I appointed him? This simply can't be. He had an audience with you and vividly described his improvement plan for Cité at the expense of the funds confiscated from Charles of Navarre. You were very impressed. Plan for Cité? Ah, the Cité plan. No, well, since I put him in office, he must be a savvy guy. What's your beef with him anyway, huh, Raglan? Everything seems to be written according to the facts. Was there research? Yes, there was. Do residents meet in Paris? Yes, they do. It's unclear, however, exactly who they're meeting with, but there are 4 more pages of appendices to the document, so surely everything is laid out in detail. So take it easy, don't shoot from the hip, otherwise you'll scare away all the decent people. Finally putting the scroll aside, the king at last addresses you. Right, and what have you come with? You're about to start introducing yourself again, but Raglan beats you to it. It's a messenger from Contarini. Venice is surrounded by enemies and needs aid. Ha! We need the aid ourselves. And we ourselves are surrounded by enemies too. I've got a forest full of routiers here in Boulogne. Besides, I have good relations with Genoa, and I see no reason to quarrel with them just to save Contrini's ass. France is not a party to this conflict and does not wish to become one. The king squints as he looks you in the eye. However, there's always room for mutual beneficial cooperation. Isn't that right, Raglan? The counselor nods. The outcome of the war between Venice and the Alliance will be decided in land battles, which means that Contarini needs soldiers. It would be very convenient for us if the Doge was to hire the routiers, who are now plaguing the outskirts of Paris, and send them into the thick of battle. For the glory of Venice, of course. Think about it. Venice would get battle-hardened, ruthless soldiers, and we'll get rid of a headache. A win-win situation. Can I count on anything else? Raglan turns his gaze to the king. I've already said that I will not interfere in this war. France has enough problems of its own. However, the downfall of Venice and the consequent rise of Genoa are not in my interest either. Venice is somewhere far away, while Genoa is right next door, and the rapid growth of its appetite does not bode well for us. So, even if there will be no full-fledged intervention, you can still count on some help. The king exchanges glances with Raglan, and the counselor nods almost imperceptibly. These are my conditions. Get rid of the Boulogne routiers, and help me deal with the remnants of the Templar order who escaped from France and are now holed up in the fortress of Esbert in Outremer. And then I will send Guillaume de Roche to you. He won't command the troops for you. I don't need a diplomatic scandal, but he will secretly offer you some advice, and his advice tends to win battles. New quest added, criminals to soldiers. New quest added, death of the order. Hire guy for 50,000 florins. Hey, Charles? Really? You don't want to buy more land? Where are we going to come up with that kind of money? Hmm. I thought I was so smart buying Hungary out of the war. That 50 grand would have been better spent on those troops. Hmm. Yeah, this is definitely the type of content that you have to play once or twice or three times to understand what's going on so you don't fuck it up, as I've already done many times. Because, how do I put this? These are not the type of decisions you can make off of a couple lines of dialogue and intuition. These are the types of decisions you need to make with a lot more knowledge than you actually have. You don't get the knowledge until you've actually done it, and by that time it's too late. You've already burned the money, you've already done this, you've already done that, and yeah, it's all hindsight. Hindsight is 20/20. So until I actually play through this again, I've kind of totally screwed myself so far, I think. So how do I do these French quests when the only thing at France is to hire those people? Scavenge Heights. Yeah, I have to hire these guys in order to probably do this. And in order to hire these guys, I need money. And I don't have that kind of money. I don't know what to do here, Doge. Your troops are too few in number. Let's go to Brittany. $2,000 men, 20,000 florins. Well, that would have been twice the amount of men for the same amount of money. During your visit, you receive an invitation to the estate. While talking with the Count, you learn about his conflict with the Austrian Duke Leopold, who is illegal holding the county of Ferrat in Alsace, which rightfully belongs to... Okay, well this is something. Having given up on resolving the matter peacefully, has begun preparing for a military campaign in Alsace. He has already found the men for this. Several companies of former mercenaries of the French king, now led by Owen Thomas. The issue is now purely financial. He gathered half of the funds necessary to finance the campaign. The second half is proving difficult. So the Count is now actively seeking a sponsor willing to invest money in the venture, promising a portion of the land that will be reclaimed in return. Outbid mercenaries. Offer financial assistance. Yeah, I would like to do that. I would have to give some of my own personal money in order to make it happen. Alright, well, what happens if we do that? Hey Doge, I'm robbing the piggy bank again. Okay, Venice is now pretty much officially broke. And I'm going to England. Screw this. France, head out. Okay. Having obtained the required sum, Edgar immediately organizes a campaign to Alsace. Duke Leopold of Austria, compelled to respond to the invasion of the lands he considers his own, sends some of his troops to oppose Egeron's mercenaries and goes on the defensive on the Venetian front. The number of Austrian troops have been reduced by 1,000 men. Preparation time in the camp of Austrian troops has been increased by 40 days. 1,000 troops in 40 days, huh? Was that worth 15,000 gold? Does this game think that we're just made out of money? Let me check something here. Defend the region. Ranking. Influence the outcome of the battle. You need to defeat 9 enemies in 69 turns. Engage the enemy personally. 9 enemies in 69 turns, huh? Do I have any poison on me? Nope. Of course I don't. Whoops. Oh, and they got shields. Of course they've got shields. Why wouldn't they have shields? Weapon skill 28 and a poison axe. Oh wait. He actually hit me. The cretin. What the heck is that? How many times can you throw? Machine gun dagger throwing going on here. God! Even if I could hit him, I can't break the armor. The weaker hit that has no armor piercing. Powerful thrust. Higher chance to bypass armor. Cannot bypass armor. But the normal spear thrust has a chance to bypass armor? That doesn't seem to make sense. It's the only skill that doesn't have a chance to bypass armor is the skill that's supposed to bypass armor. Helmet damage. Good. Nation Man-at-Arms killed. Wonder if they can kill 69 of my men in 69 rounds before I can kill 9 of their men in 69 rounds. Still can't manage to... He's stunned. Helmet's broken, evidently. I still haven't killed one guy in 9 rounds. It's not looking very good here. He supposedly has a broken helmet, and I can't penetrate his broken helmet? His broken helmet is deflecting blocks. There's something wonky here. Just saying. I should probably be attacking the easier guys. I'm hating having a spear right now. Spear versus shield. Well, spear versus shield while holding a shield isn't so great. Is there a way I can somehow drop my shield? There is. Attack. Fucking deflected by helmet. Deflected by a broken helmet. Deflected by helmet. One. Only 8 more to go. Right. The limbs is the only thing I can penetrate. But evidently I don't have a good shot at hitting him. Well, should we try for his head for the umpteenth time? Yeah, there's no way I'm killing 9 guys in 69 rounds. I've only killed 1 so far in 33. I wish the game would just kill me and put me out of my misery. Two. Unless they get significantly easier from here on in. He doesn't exactly look easy. Just wasting time right now. He's got the helmet that won't break, even though it's broken. This guy's just too studly. I hit this guy? Troops fight bravely, but the enemy still proves to be stronger and defeats you in a tough battle. You still got 3? I was hoping that it was going to end. Can I quit? I give up. I can't win this. It's impossible. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this episode here. And I have to be honest, guys. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to do. I think the situation is impossible. I think I've mucked it all up, and there's nothing I can do to fix it. So, as much as you guys might not like this, I'm thinking about throwing in the towel on this Let's Play. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another episode and just, I don't know, play it out till its demise, till the game tells me I'm lost or dead, till I'm either been killed or I get some sort of ending saying I failed. But right now, things aren't looking very good. Anyway, I'm Jaames Johnson, aka Blade. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please smash that like button, consider subscribing, and until the next time, all, peace.